Welcome to the Fight Like a Mother podcast. I am Cheryl Cardall, your host. You have landed in a wonderful community where we give non-judgmental support for parents raising kids with mental health and other neurodiverse challenges. My main goal is to provide resources and especially a soft place to land. Go find me on Instagram and join our awesome community of parents under my name, Cheryl Cardall. Now on with the episode. Welcome back to the Fight Like a Mother podcast. My guest today is Ashlyn Mitchell. And Ashlyn is somebody I have followed for a really long time on Instagram and have really loved watching her journey over many years and with many different challenges. And Ashlyn is super open about sharing about her challenges, but also her healing journey. And that healing journey is something that I really like to talk about today, specifically one portion of it, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But welcome, Ashlyn. And would you just share a little bit about yourself with our listeners?
Sure. Thank you for having me and for sticking around as I shed layers and become more myself.
Well, I
Uh,
think it inspires lots of us to do the same thing when we see somebody doing it. So thank you for being open.
Thank you. That was definitely true for me. I am Ashlyn and living a life I never could have dreamed up with lots of different challenges, like you said, that I had lots of beliefs before of how I would handle it. And then when they came, I definitely handled them differently. Um, I'm a mom of two, and I have my own podcast as well and run retreats and online women groups that are focused on healing after betrayal and working your way through divorce if that is your path.
Mm-hmm.
Two different places. So we do more than that. Retreats and stuff, I do more open to everyone because the tools that I've learned through these challenges have, like, it's given me the life I always wanted. And so whether or not you have a challenge, I think these tools, it's everything that leads you to creating the space that you dream about. And yes, there's still lots of uh, days where I'm, working through beating myself up
Mm-hmm.
at
Mm-hmm.
still finding triggers come up and things like that. It's just being human.
It is being human. And when you said whether you have challenges or not, and I thought, I don't think that applies to anyone. Everybody has their challenges. They just are different.
I agree. And I also disagree. I've had many people tell me my life has been so easy compared to yours. I don't have, like, the hardest thing I did was move out of to college. And I just thought, I cannot even
I
imagine.
can't imagine that either.
And
I can
also,
imagine.
it's coming.
Well, that's the thing is it's like if you don't feel like you haven't had the big challenge yet, like life just doesn't roll along
Yeah,
easily and exactly like we thought. And sometimes I
absolutely.
think that that grief we feel when life looks nothing like we expected or planned for, or even we lived our life thinking, if I live this way, then,
Yes.
you know, these
Everything
things won't
works out.
happen. Yeah, then it will all work out. And when it doesn't, holy moly, what does that do
Yeah.
to us?
It's confusing. Lots of
Mhm.
duality in our emotion. For me, I know
Same,
that.
same. And so working through that, and you share so many tools on how to work through that. I know you've done lots of therapy and you've done lots of other things, but there's one specific thing that I have loved watching you utilize. And I think it's something maybe we don't think about when we have challenges or when we are struggling with our mental health. And that is using play and fun to heal. So that's what I want
Absolutely.
to talk about today. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and often that means we talk about heavy things. And on my podcast, we have talked about heavy things. But this month, I was like, let's talk about some things that we might look forward to that can improve our mental
Mm,
health.
I love that.
So let's talk about play and why you focus on that. So let's
Uh,
share a little bit about that.
yeah, I love that this is your message for what could be a heavy month
Yeah.
because holding the duality of grief and joy
Hmm.
is, I feel like, the only way I could be where I'm at today. And I resisted it for so
Yeah.
long. I know the difference. And when I described myself yesterday, it was that I am motivated by fun now. And I will work really hard every day so I get to have fun. And it's because I have this deep testimony now for myself
Hmm.
that when I am creating that space for myself, I come back to myself. And it brings forth all the other things that are cliche that we all know, gratitude and love and this happiness because we just kind of let go of ugh, for a
Right.
minute.
Right.
Doesn't mean I'm like avoiding and never coming back. It's still there, but
Absolutely.
ugh.
Well, and you do work hard. And I think that's the thing. Sometimes we could just think, okay, life is about working hard and everything. And we don't ever let ourselves let go
Yeah.
and just have that fun and have that play and build that into our life on a regular basis. How has that changed you and changed your perception on your challenges?
Mm. It lightens
Mm,
the load. My partner says frequently, there's always an uppercut coming,
mm,
like
hmm.
this impending something's going to go wrong. We had something go wrong this morning with his work, and it's this like, we'll figure it out because
Hmm.
we know on the other side of that anxiety and stress, immediate heaviness, that we can create a lighter and softer landing end of day
I love
or
that.
midday. Yet yesterday
Hmm.
we met for 25 minutes to just skate. And it sounds so silly, but when you're in the middle of work and then you add in for me, I also have chauffeuring after school
Right.
of
Yes.
teenagers. Um, I don't feel like there's a lot of space for me
Uh-huh.
without work, without
Uh-huh.
kids.
Uh-huh.
And so 25 minutes at a skating rink sounds so like I don't even know how sometimes people say you play too much. And I think, no, I fit it in.
You fit it in.
I make time for it. And so, you might think 25 minutes is like such a dumb waste of time. You could be taking a nap. You could be being productive, doing things. No, I left the dirty dishes at home. I can do them later.
Hmm.
I did them while I made dinner
Hmm.
and it's okay. I was pretty rigid, I would say. Um, like a decade ago and all before that.
Hmm.
And when I started working on myself in therapy, my therapist was asking, how do you take care of yourself? And it was not really. I mean, my body functioned pretty great for not taking care of myself with nutrition, with food, with any type of spiritual devotional or reflection. But when I actually started to incorporate, I'm going to start taking care of myself, she said, I want you to think about for self care. We think of the nails and all the things, but I actually don't like getting my nails done. And so uh, I use press-ons every 2 weeks. But she said, I want you to go back to a time in your childhood where you didn't have a lot of expectations and you could do a hobby that felt really fun and you felt connected to and maybe even confident in. It brought you a lot of joy. And I thought of roller skating
Mm.
immediately. Like visualize me with headphones and my Walkman in my cul-de-sac. And I'm pretty sure I felt like I was amazing and I could do nothing. Like now that I can actually skate and do some things, I'm like, I think I just went forward and like did turns, but it was really fun for me. It's how I got to my friend's house. It's how I spent my free time. And she said, if you incorporate something old from your childhood, it brings out that fun inner
Mm.
child that's been pressed down with some rigidity for me. And like, you just got to be a mom and you got to do this. You're an adult. Um, it's the double the endorphins. And
Hmm.
so I would put headphones in and listen to 80s music and an immediate like rush in my chest of some grief and happiness
Mm. I
because
love
I could
that.
feel her
Yes.
like she's in there and she misses it. She misses the
Uh-huh.
fun.
Uh-huh.
So when I had that experience, it was like, oh, okay, I'm going to start skating. And
Yeah.
it's been so little that more so the last year, it's been like a weekly occurrence. Um, but it just was like little bits and pieces of joy.
I love that. And when you were talking about like she's in there, she's waiting, it just gave me chills because I just thought, how many of us have that joyful little person inside of us that are just like, please let me out. Please have fun,
Yes.
And I love that yours is roller skating and you recently went on a roller skating retreat.
Totally. Like that alone is so big for me because I have only gone to retreats the last 10 years that build my business or like heal my soul.
Uh-huh.
And so to just go to one for fun sounded so outrageous that it was
I
perfect.
love it. But didn't it heal your soul too? I would
That's the
imagine.
funny thing. It
Yeah.
pushed me in so many ways to go alone in another country, like so many things.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that so much. And that you prioritize that. And it's not like people are kind of like, well, it's kind of a waste of time. I'm like, you carve out that time specifically because you know what it does for you.
Yeah.
How does it help you in other aspects of life, being a mom, being a businesswoman, in your relationship? How does this fun help you in all those areas?
Well, like I said, I'm motivated by fun. So if
Mm.
I feel stuck in my work or feeling frustrated with my kids, teens, they're not kids anymore, but they're teens,
Yeah.
and what the doctor called not depression, but puberty. Like you're just puberty,
Uh-huh.
Okay. Um, if I take a little break for me, even if it's 5 minutes or I turn on music on
Mm-hmm.
Alexa all the
Mm-hmm.
time
Mm-hmm.
as like I've got to like shake out of this.
Mm-hmm.
That's pausing for fun.
Right.
So when I ask my women that I get to mentor for accountability, it's like, did you make time for fun? 1 minute a day. That is so doable. And it can be done a lot of times for me, it's music, whether
Mm-hmm.
I'm roller skating and listening to music, or I just turn it on loud in the car and I can't hear myself sing, but I'm
Yes.
screaming at the top of my
Same.
lungs.
Same. It's one of my favorite things to do for
Yes.
like a release and just like,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? This just feels so good. And you roll down the windows. And yeah, I don't
Yes.
care what people think either.
And
So,
that's the thing, Cheryl, is when I see people, we're stopped at a stoplight
yeah.
and they are jamming and dance. I'm like, I used to make fun and
Uh-huh.
giggle at those people. And now I'm like, yes,
You go.
they're in it.
Yes.
They're in
Yes.
it. Go.
I love it. I love it. So, how would you say you work with a lot of women in your groups
Mhm.
and you have found for yourself what works for you? If somebody is listening and saying, I don't even know
Yeah.
what I would do for fun because I'm so caught up in the dishes and my kids' struggles. And, a lot of my listeners are raising kids with intense mental health
Mm.
challenges. And how do I even discover and do what is fun? So what would you say to those
Yeah.
listeners?
And I'm gonna say a common fear
Hmm.
or story that pops up is I've got nothing. And I asked my own, I'll say future mother-in-law, she's a mother-in-law, uh, what did you do for fun as a child? I'm trying to help her stir that up. And she said, I didn't. It was
Mm-hmm.
hard,
Mm-hmm.
running away at 14. Um, and it was this immediate, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I had a dreamy childhood
Yeah.
and a really hard adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
Swap.
Yeah.
Okay. So when she really sunk into it and thought, she said, okay, I do remember jump rope.
Mm.
And I was really good at jump rope. And she lit up for that second. And I thought, like, okay, I want to get her jump rope. I want her jumping again.
Yes.
Like, how fun. So even if you feel like you've got nothing in your history, there's something in there. Even if it's like a family dance party. I have videos of me doing that at, 3, 4 years old and just pure joy. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't care what I look like. Now you see me as an adult and I'm trying to work through caring what people will think
Yes.
about me as I
Yes.
dance. Um, so I think start there, go backwards to where you can find a piece of joy. Uh, and then I want you to just think like, what brought me joy? Okay, in my teenage years or in my early college or married or relationship years. What did I used to do for like fun dates, things like that? And it's really beautiful to see where people go with this because it can be as simple as I used to love walking my dog. Maybe I don't have a dog, but I could walk or I can walk someone's dog.
Hmm.
Um, it could be hugging trees. Like I have a friend who loves hugging trees, and that brings her a lot of joy.
Right.
You can do that most of the time in your neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Um, painting, coloring, they're writing lyrics, poetry. It doesn't have to be my kind of fun. Roller
Hmm.
skating, people
Hmm.
think like, oh yeah, I got it. I tried it. It's hard. No, no, that may not be your thing, and it doesn't need to be. And
Don't
one
need
thing I
another
know,
hard thing. That's not what we're
yes,
doing here.
that is the thing is, um, that was exactly what I want to bring up. I've never been great at skating.
Uh-huh.
I just was doing it for the release and the fun. And so when I partnered with someone who got really good at skating, he's really good. He learns just by watching a video and then he can do it. I don't learn that way.
Hmm.
I would get really frustrated in the beginning of us skating together because he was learning so fast and I was so far behind. And then he would try to teach and I'd say, "You're taking the fun out of this
Mm.
for me. I just need to have fun." And so we got to a place where I could let go of my stories of he's judging me and da, da, da. And we have so much fun together. The energy when we skate, and he's still way better than me. It's so fun and
I
connecting.
love it.
So that to me is I'm really good at doing things I'm not good at.
Hmm.
I've gotten really good.
Hmm.
And that is letting go of my own narratives of other people think I look stupid or I'm not as good and going into comparison. It's really, am I having fun?
Yes, I love that. I love that. As a child, I used to partner with my best friend, and we used to write plays and perform them for like
Oh my
neighborhood
gosh.
people.
Yes.
Okay. I loved that. I do not want to do that now. I do not want to write plays, but I love going to plays. I love going to
Okay.
musicals. I love live music. And so I'm like, it doesn't have to be the exact
Mm.
same thing because I am not going to write a play and perform it for
For your
people.
neighbors?
Right.
Why? I love
But
that.
I do feel alive. My son bought me tickets to see Michael Jackson the musical at Eccles, and
Yes.
we went in March. And I mean, I grew up with Michael Jackson, that's my era.
Yep.
And I just felt so alive there and dancing, and it was so fun. And so I think about something that you loved as a child, but you don't have to do it the exact same way.
Ooh. See, look at all the ways we're giving them. They're going to find so many things now that they can do.
Yes, yes. And like I skied a ton as a child and loved just not having the pressure of going on, the black diamonds or anything like
Yep.
that. And so
So
I'm like,
many.
okay, I got to start that again because I did love just being on the mountain,
Yeah.
just feeling free skiing, but I didn't care about my skill level.
Yes, I'm so that we should ski together because
Yes.
I'm there for the experiment, like the
Mhm.
experience. And there's a smile on my face the entire way down, and I'm
Yes.
going on greens and blues.
Yes, same, same. And I think that's the thing is just find what like lights you up as you're
Yep.
doing it. And
Yep.
it's so healing. Um, so I think that like we've talked about the skating and the plays and things like that. What's something that you can do every day that lights you up? You said the music.
Hmm.
Say you have 5 minutes. What are some thoughts there?
I'm very habitual. So I go to like my few things, but yeah,
Hmm.
dance parties. So
Hmm.
I don't enjoy cooking dinner. And so it's a chore to me.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I have a dinner playlist that I have on Apple Music, and I just tell Alexa to start and I play it loud. My kids are getting, doing their own thing, and I'm in the kitchen. And that to me is fun.
Well, I love pairing that with something that you don't love.
Yeah.
So turn it on when you're cleaning the bathrooms
Yep.
or organizing or things like that. You
Yeah.
pair it together. I love that.
There's so many good playlists that people have already
Uh-huh.
created. And I do cleaning the house playlists, like dance party playlist,
Mm-hmm.
anything, because I have a calm me down playlist
Mm-hmm.
that, yeah, it doesn't bring me joy and like I'm smiling, but it brings me peace.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's important. I listen to that in the shower every night.
Yeah. Yeah. I also have like an angry playlist where if I'm
Mm,
feeling anger or anxious or something, I can put that on and like sing along or just listen to it, you know? So I think that music is a huge thing
Yeah.
that we can use that
Yes.
is easily accessible.
Yes. I'm going to say just going outside. Like
Yeah.
if, especially if you stay at home for any reason, I stay at home for my job and I raise my children here. If I do not get out of the house at least 10 minutes a day, I feel like my day is not normal. Like even just going and sitting and putting my feet in the grass. And sometimes I just sit there in the sun and feel it, or I can read a book, or I can listen to a podcast. Um, that brings me joy. It's
Hmm.
fun.
Hmm.
Going on a walk, it's fun. Going on a walk and talk with a friend,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
bringing other people into the social place with you. I'm going to go on a quick hike this afternoon. And I thought, okay, check in. Do I want to be social or do I want to be in solitude? And I want to be in solitude. So I did not tell any of my friends I'm going. And that's, I've gotten to a place where I can do both, but
Mhm.
it's been a lot of social time lately. And so recharge alone, please.
Yeah, I love that you know that and you're checking in with yourself. Okay, what do I need today?
Yeah.
And you check in. And I love you brought up like reading a book for
Mhm.
people that might be the most fun thing
Totally.
they do, or turning on a show that you know is going to make you belly laugh. You know,
Totally. Yes.
I think that there's so many things that we have accessible just right around us that bring us joy. I don't love to cook dinner, but I love to bake. You know, I love to bake bread. I like to try new things. And so for somebody that might be joy. Like I think I was just going to say next weekend, it's my birthday weekend and we rented an RV and we're just going to go exploring southern Utah. I love to
Oh,
explore and adventure with my family. And for me, half the fun is the planning.
oh,
The anticipation
yes.
is so fun. And so having something to look forward to on your calendar and you get to plan it and you get to look forward to
Uh,
it, that's providing yourself with some fun.
yeah. Okay. That's so interesting because that is a daily that I keep women accountable to, especially if they're walking through really hard
Hmm.
relationship
Hmm.
struggles. Having something to look forward to, you have to.
Yes, you do.
That's the motivation for us to take care of ourselves, to have
Yes.
fun, to do the
Yeah.
hard work, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's the thing is put something on your calendar in 2 or 3 weeks, you know, whether that's going to see a play or whether it's I get to go out of town for the weekend, or even if it's as simple as I get to go for a hike with some friends.
Yeah.
Just
Okay. Do you want to hear something silly? We have been escaping our life a little bit when we go on trips because our life here in the home has been like just lots of emotions,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
so we're like, we are definitely using vacation wrong right now. We want our life to be beautiful in our home as well. And so I'm like, how can we make our home more of this vacation vibe that we need? And I grew up with a fridge full of drinks, like sodas and waters, like they were a plenty to me, but I don't like soda. And so
Hmm.
I've never incorporated that into my adulthood. And yet my kids love drinks and specialty things. And so
Hmm.
that to me is something that can bring me joy and my kids joy, my
Right.
partner joy, is to have fun drinks. So I like to go and buy just a drink at Chick-fil-A sounds so silly. I love their lemonade more than anything. And so
Uh-huh.
I went and bought like a gallon of their lemonade and it's been in the fridge this week and everyone is happy. Like
That's so fun.
it
Like
can
so
be
simple.
so, yes. Like I can look forward to going and getting a lemonade later
Hmm.
today. It
Hmm.
can be so little and
Yeah.
bring,
Yes, I love that. And I think also we can incorporate our kids with that within that joy. Like for your kids, you're like,
yeah,
they like to have special drinks and
yep,
things in, and it probably helps them, you know, look forward to doing something at
yeah.
home. You know, I have a 14-year-old who's doing homeschool right now, and every Wednesday there's a podcast that he loves that we watch together.
Aw.
And so it's fun for me to participate in his joy and his laughter and things like that. So I think that, you know, just looking for those moments, once you start incorporating them, I think that they become more plentiful and you start like, oh, it really does feel good to laugh and to have fun. And I am so much happier and can deal with my big challenges better when I incorporate this into my
Mhm.
life.
Absolutely. And mm, I feel for me, it changed the view I had of this acceptance of I'm a human who is healing forever, and I have to
Mhm.
just build more tolerance for disappointment and the hard things that come in life. It's not to avoid, it's not to be healed, it's tolerance. And I'm
Mhm.
building so much of it because I allow this space over here for fun. So build tolerance and have fun. It makes the healing journey just way more doable.
Yeah, and way more joyful. Like you said, we have
Yeah.
to hold the duality of those emotions, the hard and the joyful. But sometimes we forget about the joyful and we only
Yes.
focus on
Or
the
like it
hard.
might feel wrong.
You're right.
I used to believe because I was betrayed in my marriage, if I showed joy, if I laughed at his jokes or laughed at something, a movie, that he would think I was okay.
Mm. Hmm.
And so I needed to be like sad or angry.
Stoic and yes.
Yes. And I had to start saying, I I need to just say this out loud. I'm still really hurt and I just want to laugh tonight.
Hmm.
Like permission for myself and that little bit of vulnerability of you may see me laughing. I can do both.
Yes, yes. And I think we have to create that
Yeah.
space for both. So I just love this. I read somewhere when I was thinking about this podcast that the endorphins that play produces are so vital to our mental health. And we forget that sometimes. We forget that those feel good endorphins like help us pull us out of the funk. They can help us, like you said,
Mhm.
build tolerance for the hard stuff. They're not going to take it away,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
do help so much.
Um, I will say this. I'm just thinking of my own teens right now, and you're saying that, and I'm like, when is the last time my 13-year-old like laughed so hard she cried? It's probably been a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that just has me thinking because there was a time where my weekly goal was to laugh so hard I cried
Hmm.
because I could feel how good it felt. It was a release in so many different
Absolutely.
ways. And so now it becomes so easy. And yeah, that's something I need my 13-year-old to
Well,
feel.
and I think teaching our kids this principle that having fun is a good thing because sometimes we're so focused on their grades and their working hard and their character and everything, we forget to teach them that you can have fun in life and it's important and it's valuable and we don't have to be productive all the time.
Mhm. Well, and sad. Like
Yes.
I just think, oh, you're so she's, that age, eighth grade is so
Yes.
icky. It was so icky
Yes.
for me. Like I didn't know who I was and I cared way too much about being cool and what other people thought that I missed out on
Hmm.
fun. And I
Hmm.
see her in that, I see myself and I'm like, oh, stop wasting your time and just have fun.
Yes.
You
Yes.
like wear the blue mascara, do all the things you used to do.
Yes, yes. And I do think for a time they kind of lose that joy. And are we teaching them through modeling it for them
Yeah.
or through direct teaching that let's go have some fun?
Yes.
Let's do something where we can just take a breath and exhale for a minute from
Yeah.
all the teenage pressures, all the hormones, all the adult pressures. I mean, I love having fun with my kids because it's so
Same.
connecting.
Uh, my daughter's therapist said that we needed to start incorporating forced family fun.
Mm,
And it's 1 hour a week where we come up with an idea that's fun for all of us, like no phones, we all come, no friends are invited. And it's been really fun. And now they're at the point where they're like, why does it have to be forced? It sounds so negative. Like we're having fun, but
yeah,
for a teenager to like come and have fun, a lot of them absolutely are. And then I'm gonna say it's common to not be like they don't want to hang out with their
right.
family. You know, that's all very common and normal for puberty. Um, but I want it. I
Hmm.
want to have fun with them. I miss that. And so
Yes.
I it.
Well, and at first it might feel forced.
Yeah.
And then, like that you said, after a time, they're like, wait, this isn't forced anymore. Why are we calling it that? Because this
Yep.
is fun.
Yeah.
And it will probably expand into more than an hour.
Yeah. Well, we're doing this Mother's Day on Sunday. We're going on our collective family hike that is our favorite. It's called Canara Falls in southern Utah. And it was my favorite when I was little. And I took them on a girls' trip last summer
Mhm.
and they found it on Instagram. They hate hiking, but hiking brings me a lot of joy.
Uh-huh.
And so they finally, like 3 years ago, were like, we're never hiking with you again. We hate it so much. And I was like, okay, I won't ask. And so when my daughter sent me an Instagram video of this hike, she's like, I want to do this. It looks awesome. I was like, buy tickets now, book hotel.
Yeah.
Like I immediately, because you have to have a permit. I
Uh-huh.
got permits and booked the hotel. My partner couldn't come because I booked it so fast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, good, it's a girls' trip. We're going back. They don't hike, they haven't hiked in between, but they are looking forward. That's Forest Family Fun. And it's my Mother's Day gift. I'm like, be nice and have fun. Come on.
I love that, you're like, they haven't hiked anything since, but they
They
loved
like that
that
hike.
and they're willing to do it again. I love that.
Do it. Yep.
And yeah, and I was just gonna say, you were talking about how laughing is such a release. And I would say laughing and crying, they're both
Yes.
an emotional release and both are necessary, right? Sometimes
Mhm.
the deep crying is necessary. And sometimes you get that same release with the belly laugh.
Absolutely.
And especially if you cry when you laugh, I mean, you get both.
It's my favorite. I love that feeling so much.
Yes, I do too. I do too, so much. Well, do you have any last thoughts on this topic for women or families?
I would say if you are in the thick of things and joy or fun sounds out of reach, look around your little circle, big or small, and find someone who's having some fun, like publicly,
Hmm.
and maybe reach out. Like be brave enough to say, I need some of this in my life.
Yeah,
Or just start really small and private. Both are okay.
yeah.
But you definitely should not be living through your struggles alone. There should be joy, like having moments of joy without talking about the hard.
Hmm.
Leave the hard at
Leave
home.
it behind for a minute. It's
Yeah,
okay to escape it for a time.
absolutely. We're coming back to
Necessary.
it.
Yeah, it'll be there. It'll be
It
there.
doesn't go away.
No, no, it doesn't. Well, and if you want a good example of somebody who does this, you need to go follow Ashlyn. So tell them where they can find you.
Thank you. This is ashlyn.com. It's ASHLYNN, over on Instagram, Facebook. And my podcast is also called This is Ashlyn.
Well, that's easy to remember then. So
Yes.
I'll link all those on my show notes. And just thank you so much for being here. It's been so fun to talk to
Yeah.
you and
Good.
hear your thoughts about this. And I think it's so important that we incorporate this in our lives.
Yeah,
So
I love it. And if you need fun, if hiking is fun, I do have a free hiking group in
that's
northern
right.
Utah,
That's right.
that I post some free hikes, and it's just fun. People who are like-minded having fun.
Well, and do you have people show up solo, like they aren't
Oh,
coming with
most of the
anyone
time, which
most of the
is
time?
like such a good push for us as well.
Yes.
I will tell you in the beginning, it was terrifying for me to put myself out there for strangers. I was like, is someone going to come and kill me? But I've only had good experiences.
That's awesome. So watch for those hiking groups, especially as we get into the summer months. Well, thank you, Ashlyn, so much for being here.
Yeah,
It's been awesome
thank
to talk
you.
to you.